Welcome, everyone. We're going to give you guys a quick moment here to hop on the live with us. But it's your Home Buyer Academy Live gurus, entrepreneurs, business owners, masters, or is it masters or captains of industry? Chad Murray and Maurice Jones here, ready on
What's
another
going
Tuesday
on?
night to give you guys an awesome episode here. Super excited about tonight.
Oh yes, man. My brother, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I will say it was a long day, but in the midst of it all, it was a great day. If I'm being truly honest, it was actually a great day. How about you?
Yeah, man. Going through it, but we're here in a commitment to serve, right? So
Mm,
regardless of my particular situation or circumstance, man, I'm here to serve. And like you said, with all of the things that come with life, you got the beauty of it, and
yeah.
that trumps it all. So yeah, man, just adjusting to new normals and all of that. But man, all these kids is beautiful. I love it, man. I'm happy.
Yeah. And speaking of new normals, you can see Chad got a new background, I got a new background, and then the show got a new background. So,
Hey,
one week at a time, we leveling it up, we moving up in the world. So I'm gonna
yeah, man.
share it
And
on social media. If you guys can do us a big favor as you're watching in, please share this to your feed and let people know that we're putting you guys on free game about the home buying process. All things home buying, we're here to bring that to you all. So,
and what we're
t-
really
oh,
looking to do too is we don't want this to just be a lecture. We're looking for more participation so that we could actually take your situation from right where you are and actually walk you through a journey so that you could actually see results from our conversation, right? Whether
mhm.
that be a credit issue, whether that be an idea and support around saving money, whether that be looking at different down payment assistance options and programs, you know, go ahead and stick your neck out a little bit because you'll find that by being vulnerable on this platform and being willing to share, you're going to really gain so much. So we're looking for people to share their case studies and also to share their journeys so that we can help other people to walk in the right way too.
Yeah, and so let me see if we can. Yeah, I'll switch that there. So let me see. Tonight we're going to be talking about home. We basically part two of home values. We talked about the seller's market and the different atmosphere of the home buying journey. Right. Tonight we're going to get a little more into depth in depth about your personal experience, like the how tos of things. I'm gonna share my personal experience, but we're gonna kind of do a walkthrough Zillow, or putting yourself in the driver's seat, you know, taking on the reins and saying, okay, I'm ready to buy a home. Let's go find it. So I'm going to try to queue up the screen here now. See if we can get that going.
Well, first off, my brother, how about you go ahead and lead us with a moment of just getting our gratitude on?
Yes, let's do that. So while we're getting started here, hey, how's everyone doing? Hey, G, how's it going? All right, so I know it's been a while. I haven't been on YouTube in a while, so it's good to see you. So yeah, so take a moment here. If you had a long day like me, it's good to get centered, to get your mindset focused. Just trying to get back on track with your thoughts, trying to get back on track, with your focus for here. We're here today to focus on the home buying process. So let's take a moment to just sit in the moment. Let's take a moment to let go of everything, whether it's meditation, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through centering yourself. We're going to take this moment, a quick moment of silence, to just hone in and refocus and kind of like let the worries and the stress of the day go. And we're going to just take in this moment right here. We're going to, say, God, focus me back into this moment. Let me get back, touch my mind. Let me get refocused. Let me get recentered. And we're just going to take another minute here of just being in silence, kind of mentally letting go of the day, letting go of those things that you might be worried about, letting go of those distractions. Letting those things go, hand it over to God. I'm a big person of faith, so just hand it over to God in this moment. If you want to pick it up after the show, then you can do that. But right now, give it over to God, and let's get in the episode here. I'm gonna throw it back over to you, Chad.
Awesome, brother. Yeah, man. Everything is better with with some God on it, like
Mm-hmm.
cinnamon. No, but no, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. You know, really, really and truly, this journey, this home buying journey, is really uh one that is metaphysical as well, right? Like you do need to be able to put yourself in the right spiritual space to be able to get what you need out of this for yourself. And what we're looking to do is have these breakthroughs. So today, we're going to be talking about value, right? Property values. And we started speaking about this conversation last week. We spoke about how you could actually negotiate in different market types and where we are in the market today. So here in Florida, we find that uh, there are a lot more properties on the market now than there were this time last year. So what that shows us is that there is a shift in the type of market that we're in. Now, there are generally two primary market cycles. There's the buyer's market and the seller's market. Now, they do have um, like light buyers market and a heavy buyers market and a light sellers market and a heavy sellers market, pretty much to emphasize how much inventory is on the market. So we're coming out of a time when there were no properties on the market. There's very little. As a property went up on the market, you know, it was going into contract right away. And that was causing people to have to bid higher than they wanted to and to have to outbid other people. Today, now we're in a total shift. So now what becomes available to us is the ability to negotiate knowing that the buyer has the gold, right? And as the buyer, you want to prepare yourself so that you could be in this very market and be able to put an offer in, knowing that the seller is going to be more motivated for you because guess what? They know that their neighbor's property is also listed. They know that all up and down the neighborhood, there are properties that are on the market, and they want to show why you should buy theirs instead of somebody else's. So that means that there are a few key elements that I want you to keep in mind as you go to negotiate a property right now. Every offer should ask for seller's concessions, also known as a seller's credit. Now, that's money that's going to go towards closing cost or repair cost on the property, but your seller can actually contribute money to your closing. So let's say that you're in a position where you want to buy a house, but you might not love this house. Go ahead, make a lower offer, right? And ask for seller's credits. Now, if you're getting an FHA mortgage, you can get up to a 6% seller's credit. So, quick math, if that's a $300,000 house, that's $18,000 that could be going to your closing costs from the seller rather than you paying that money out of your own pocket. Game changer. Also, if you're looking for a conventional mortgage, you can go up to 4%. If you're a veteran and you're getting a VA mortgage, you could go up to 4%. So on that same $300,000 house, that's going to be $12,000 that's going to be going from the seller towards your closing cost. So in this market, that's how you want to position yourself to win. All right. So those are real key things that you want to take advantage of because look, every seller right now is having a lot of competition, and that competition is getting more fierce every day. And the core reason for that is that while property values are going up and up and up, nope, they've come to a screeching halt. And there's actually a lot of speculation that it's going to be dropping. And I'm hearing people talk about 2008. I'm not expecting that bad because the fundamentals of the market aren't that off, right? But you still have opportunity today. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the different strategies you want to employ, how that all works. And then from there, we're going to actually take you through Zillow because, yeah, I know when you look at Zillow, it says Zestimate. So you can see, okay, yeah, the property is valued at that. It's not always so accurate, but what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I use Zillow with a little more nuance, a little more detail to really get a better sense of what the market is saying in that particular area, right? So when it comes to value of a property, Mo, what's one principle that comes to your mind that can help people really grasp the idea of how to approach value when it comes to purchasing a property, or the value that they might have in their own property?
That's a good question. So for me, we have to look at the different, like I'm always talking about mindset. So the first thing that we think of is the number. How much does a house cost? But there's so much more value to that. Like the community is value. Because especially like me, I got three kids. What schools are going to be around? Well, it's different for me because I homeschool my kids. But if you're not homeschooling your kids like me, you got to consider that. You got to consider, okay, what schools are going to be close by? What's the community going to look like the value, the reputation, like, hey, I'm from such and such area. Do people say, ooh, you from there? Or they're gonna say, oh yeah, I'm familiar with that, that's nice. Like that's your honestly, like the value of your home's location is like reputable for you. You name drop where you're living and people might look at you like, hey, that you're not doing too bad for yourself. Or yeah, you can come visit me, but I ain't gonna visit you. So those are some other things you got to consider outside of the price. You got to consider location, 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 and those different facets of value. So like for me, at first, even though I never heard of Leesburg, even and I drove out of here, it was like a new complex. I heard a lot of good things about the area I was in. And then we met some like local people here, like the church I fellowship with now is awesome. Shout out to First Baptist Umatilla. They're awesome out here. The people I made great friends there, and it's very very like family oriented. Like it's a nice area for me. I feel that to where I'm raising my kids at. And I learned a lot of these things along the way, but this is some things that I had in mind prior to getting this home. So when
Right,
you're looking for a home, you have to consider not just the price, but where it's
right.
at in all these other areas.
And value is subjective, right? To everybody, to
Hmm.
each his own. What matters, what might be important to you, what was important to me, man. And when I was buying my house, um, I remember I was by my boy's house. Matter of fact, my friend had a party, um, and I forgot what we were celebrating. It might have been, it was his birthday party, yeah. And it was at this nice house, nice pool, overlooking the lake. I said, I need that. I need that. And what I did was, I literally meditated. Every day that I meditated, I took some time to visualize and see this house. And I'll do it every single day. And it started to become something that I'm seeing in my head, and it was getting more clear every single day. That vision was just getting more clear every day. And then one day my wife was like, "Hey, let's go see this house." And when I saw it on Zillow, I was like, nah. I X'd out of it. And when I took a look at the map, there was this one dot right by the lake. And I'm like, I wonder what this is. And when I hit it, that property just went on the market that day. I called my boy, at the time before I actually had my own real estate license. I called my boy and I'm like, yo, I need you to get me into this house. And we saw the house. We were the first to put an offer on the house. There's competition, but man, we utilize all of the skills. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also show you. Man, I should probably do a case study on that offer because it was pretty crafty, if I may say so myself.
Okay.
Nah, but like I exercised the skills that I practiced to get this
Mm,
house, and I'm like, you know, it's dope. I love it, and I give all the credit in the world to my wife first off, because if she didn't send it to me that day, it would have been off the market. But second off, that I took the time to get clarity on what I wanted.
mm,
And as you do that with your own life, it might not be the level that you see right now. That house might be one or two houses away, but it could get you started on that process. And one thing that I wanted to really emphasize when we talk about value, Maurice,
mm,
is value comes with time,
right.
right? Value comes with time. You know, oysters, right? Like pearls come out of the mouths of oysters, right? But
Mm,
it takes time for that dirt to accumulate and for that pearl to be molded. And after time, there it is, Mo. You're good to go. After time comes a pearl. After time comes all of these rich, rich, rich minerals that become valuable in time. And the same thing is going to be for your property. So when you buy your house, right? You grab your house today. It might not be the dream, But when you grab it and you hold on to it for a while, you'll see that over time your property is going to increase in value, and it's going to weather the storm of markets that go up and go down. But in time, you'll be able to utilize that property as a cornerstone to the wealth that you want to create in your life. So allow value to happen, but you got to get into the game to actually make that a reality. You feel me?
Yeah. So if you wanted to do the Zillow thing, I was thinking I can be like I can put myself in like the customer seat and you coach me through the site like I'm looking through it for the first time.
All right. Well,
What do you
let me
think
ask
about it?
you, do you have a property address in mind? Let's find a
Well,
property address.
well, the funny thing is, I will say this, right? You guys always joke about how far out I live. It was going to be here or Lake Nona. So either way,
Let's go with something in Lake Nona. 'Cause I know you're looking at
yeah,
Lake Nona, bro. Let's go. Matter of
yeah,
fact,
I'm
you
out
went to
there.
go see a property in Lake Nona a couple of months ago, right? Do you remember the address?
No, I don't. I don't. But let me see.
Okay, look at
Let
this.
me
You're
see.
doing all
Let's
kind of
see.
fancy things. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
there we go. Let's go like that. Um,
All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys a test run on how you could use Zillow to be able to really hone in on that property value a little more accurately. Mo, do me a favor, just to start.
let me
Yeah,
see.
go ahead and grab a property in Lake Nona because I know that that's your dream area.
Yeah, this will probably be the next one.
We just need you to come a little bit closer from the boonies, but I mean, you're gonna get some people renting out there happily.
See, this looks nice. Let me go.
It does. Let's go with the
Uh,
630. Let's go a little lower. Let's
I'm gonna
see if
change
we can
my
get
price
something in the
range. So.
fives. Let's go in the 500 range.
Oh, so that. Yeah, let's go.
Because what we want to do is we want to be able to explore what different,
500. Okay.
yeah. Let's look for something in the
Oh,
500s.
here's 540. Let's see what this is like. There we go. This is nice. I can't hear you. Okay, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I said Zillow's not paying us yet. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Zillow's not paying us yet, but they're gonna come calling soon, right? Because what we want to do is like we have to take advantage of all the tools that are accessible to us. There's Zillow,
Hmm.
there's Realtor.com, there's Trulia, there's Redfin. There are a lot of different websites. The most popular of them is Zillow, and it's for a number of quality reasons. So, for example, if you could go back before we go to the pictures, right? So you see you're gonna get these. It shows that it's for sale, and it's gonna show you the for sale price. Now, if the property has that in the top left corner, go back up to the top, Mo, where it says for sale. Perfect, right? Exactly. That's gonna show you that the property is for sale, and at that point, the number that you're gonna see on the screen at the 540, that's the sale price. That's your sale price. But let's say this property wasn't for sale. What you're going to see is what's called a zestimate. And that's Zillow's estimate of that property's value. Now, over time, Zillow has become more and more and more accurate because it has more and more data. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually show you how to comb through that data in a way that's going to help you to see why a property has that value so that even before you make your offer, you'll be able to get a good sense of what that property is going to be worth for you. All right, so let's scroll down a little bit more from here. We have the purchase price of the 540, and we're going to highlight some of the core elements of this page that you want to really get a good sense of. Okay, so this one isn't going to show the Zestimate because it's right there, but it doesn't show you one. Right. So that's normally where you'd find it, but you're going to see some key information. The house was built in 2007. It gives you a price per square foot as well, right?
Oh, right here. Wait, no.
Right there. There you go. Right below. Yep. And it's also going to give you the cost of the HOA. So the homeowners association dues, all of these things are going to be in this little snapshot right here at the top. But then from there, and this is really, really cool, right? What's special? It's going to give you some of the highlights of that property. It shows you that it has a covered lanai, breakfast bar, large laundry room, and all of these details that make this property more desirable, right? So that's something to look at. But when we're talking about value, right? And we're talking about how every offer that you should make in this market should include some form of a concession. Now, I told you the maximum for an FHA is 6%, and the maximum for conventional with less than 10% down is 4%. But a lot of that is going to be predicated on a number of details. And this is one of the key details right here. You see days, 11 days on Zillow. Would you consider that to be high or low? When
I
you're
would say
watching
low.
this, that's low, right? So 11 days means that the seller really hasn't gotten a pinch of the market yet to say, ooh, I don't know if this property is going to sell. Like, for example, my house, my neighbor next door has his house on the market. He already went through one realtor. He has another realtor working on it right now. And that was his second mistake. He should have came to me the first time, but that's a whole nother conversation. But these realtors are promising him prices that are above the current market for what his property is. As a result, his days on the market is probably well over 100, 180 or in that ballpark. Now, when you
Mm-hmm.
see somebody that has their property on the market for 60 days, 90 days, 100 days, those are the sellers that you can say, okay, hold on, why is this property on the market for so long? But then from there, they're going to be more motivated, right? I was going to ask, what do
Mm-hmm.
you think? But if their property's been sitting around, they're going to be more motivated. And if they're more motivated, they're going to be willing to work with you more, meaning that the price is going to be more negotiable. All of the other terms are going to also be more negotiable. So we're going to be looking for maximizing that concession so you can have less money coming out of your pocket and more money from the equity going towards making that transition and the transaction work for you. All right. So days on Zillow is a core and key indicator of your ability to be able to negotiate. And also, it's going to let you know how motivated the seller is going to be, right? The likelihood, because you never know what people's motivations are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, we can keep going down from there, brother.
Okay. But it's
And of
near the
course, it's
water
going to
too.
show you
Sound
the
like.
real estate. I'm sorry.
No, I was just noticing. It looks like it's on the map here showing it's near water and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. What am I looking for now?
So yeah, we're gonna just go down and you're gonna. This is gonna show you some of the facts and features of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead and show more. And we're gonna just go down, and these are just details that you could figure out what this house offers to determine what about it you like and what might be missing for you, right? But this is gonna give you a breakdown of what's on the levels. On this level, you're gonna have this, that, or the next, and those are all things that are great to know as a consumer. And you could do a lot of that preliminary research right there. But if you keep on going down, you're gonna get into the area which is gonna show you more of the market value. And we're going to do two things. We're going to go ahead and look at this value, but once we go through this whole page, I'm going to show you another way to search for value on Zillow. So if you could stay right here in that area, Mo,
Okay. Where
right
the
there. So
calculators
it
are.
doesn't say, it says estimate not available. Estimated sales range not available. So what would make that happen? What would make that happen is that if this property is an anomaly, meaning that it's a one of one, or there are not many other properties that have sold similar to that one. Now we see that it was built in 2007. So there's a high likelihood that over the course of 18 years, some people would have sold their property similarly, right? So what we
Mm-hmm.
want to take a look at is take a little inch down to property history, price history for this property. Okay. So if you go down, ooh, look at this, guys.
I'm sorry.
This is very interesting data. So look, in 2017,
Oh wow.
this property sold for $282,000. And just 5 years later, they tried to sell it for 529, which is an 86% increase,
Mm-hmm.
almost doubling up on the money. Woo. But for whatever reason, they changed the price. So this is going to also give you an indication of a seller's motivation. Now, what is this telling me? So I see that they listed it 3 years ago now. And then they did a little price drop by 10,000 in October 29th, 2022. And then months later, they ended up taking the listing off the market. So what that tells me is a number of different things, right? First and foremost, they probably, if they were selling in 2022 and nothing shook, nothing happened in the market, they had that
Mm-hmm.
property listed too high. And I mean drastically too high. So
What, the
being that,
525?
I'm sorry?
I was asking at the 525. They listed it too high.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason why I say so, and we'll actually take a look, and this is going to be a great way to test this theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, at that time, once a property went on the market, it was gone. It was gone. It didn't, and it wasn't even price range sensitive. Like everybody was buying. Why? The interest rates were stupid low. We're talking 2%, 3% in
Mm-hmm.
2022. So everybody was scrambling to get into the market to grab one of these low interest rates. And there's no property at that time, there's no inventory. So you have people bidding above market value. So if he had it at 525 and then moved the price to 515, and then 2 months later took it off the market, that means he was getting no bites. Now, Lake Nona is a desirable area in Florida, and it's been actually just exploding. So if it wasn't getting any feedback, they were being too ambitious with the pricing. So what does that tell us in terms of where they are today? For whatever reason, they put the property back on the market. And notice
Mm-hmm.
3 years later, 2.5 years later, they're asking for even more money,
Mm-hmm.
540. Now, we can't tell if anybody's made an offer of it just yet, but based on the history, if that price point was in 2022 and nobody bid,
Mm-hmm.
over the course of the last 2 years, the increase in property values has been a lot less dynamic than it was
Mm-hmm.
at 2022. That was close to the height of the market. 2023 was also a point where the market was just like it was at its peak, right? So right now we're
Mm-hmm.
close. We're like on the other side of the peak. So if he's still trying to sell it even above, this is a property that you could look to be on the market for a little longer. And we should check this out over the course of weeks more to see if I'm on point. All right.
Yeah, because
But
even to like support that, I noticed here, where was it at? It had like 780 views and like almost no, like
yes.
so like 790 views, but only like 36 saved. So they're probably trying to take advantage. 'Cause I know we both know, being living here in Central Florida, that Lake Nona right now is like an up and coming. Like if you go out to Lake Nona, they're building up a lot and they're doing a lot. So they're probably trying to get the. But I see what you're saying. I think that house definitely is more than what it's worth, to be honest.
I mean, it's a nice crib. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's beautiful, but the market is ultimately going to dictate what a property is worth. It doesn't matter what you
Hmm.
think your property is worth. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, but this was my granddad's chair from uh, the 20s. No one cares. No one cares. A lot of the times, people put all of this sentimental value on a thing when the
Yeah.
market doesn't care. So we have to meet the market where it is, right? So Mo's going
Right.
into some of the deeper property details. But let's go up a little bit. Oh yeah, we're gonna go into
Okay.
that payment calculator. I love that calculator. And this is
I'll go
something
wait
that's
right
gonna
here. I'll
be
go back up.
no, no, just go up, yeah, public tax record.
Okay.
Yeah, public tax history. Now, this is a really important thing to keep in mind too. When you're buying your property, a lot of people consider the mortgage payment, the P&I, right, principal and interest. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the bigger variables as well are the taxes as well as the insurance. Right now, Florida is going through a homeowners insurance crisis, and I
Mm-hmm.
had a client today that was quoted $7,800 insurance, fam, a
Oh
year.
wow.
Crazy, right? So these are the, I mean, now that's not what you're gonna see. That property, they had an insurance claim, all kind of stuff. So that's not normal. It's not standard, but still, we're above a majority of the homeowners insurance market in the country. So when you're looking to buy a house, you want to check Zillow for the public tax history. That's going to let you know what you could expect your property taxes to be for the year. So if the property
Mm-hmm.
taxes was 6,500 in 2023, and you could see that they experienced a 13% increase in 22, an 11.2% increase in 23, we could expect, like if I'm doing your mortgage for you, I'm going to go ahead and predict that we're going to have a similar increase, right? So that when I actually estimate what your taxes are before we come to the point of actually getting a title report, and all of that, I'm going to go ahead and estimate a higher tax amount so that you're prepared when we actually get the final numbers, that more than likely that might be a little bit lower or we'll be right on point. So those are things that you want to look at here in Zillow as well. And
So can
normally the
no, I'm putting my client hat on. So if I'm looking at this tax assessment here, is this like what the estimated value of the home is, and that's how they get the 10% assessment?
No, that's the tax assessed value. The tax assessed value is going to take the tax rate. Um, what does that say?
Oh, I clicked on it by accident, but it says the represents the 300. The amount represents
Yeah.
numerical value often used in context involving finance, such as income, expenses, and costs.
Okay. Cool. So it's gonna include like the tax rate, and the tax the ad valor value, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
just based on the tax assessment. That's not going to directly correlate with the property value. Now, yes, the higher the tax assessed value is, the higher the purchase the property value is going to be, but
Okay.
that's not going to directly correlate with the value of the property, because this property is probably worth closer to 500 or maybe high 400 based on what you can see the property is listed for. And we're going to go
Right.
ahead and take a look around the neighborhood and see what else is there. All right. um all right,
So
so
you
just
want
bring
to
it
go
down.
out to where the houses and zoom in on the neighborhood?
We're about to get there, right? But before we go there, I just want to really highlight this one tool that is absolutely marvelous. This is so right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is so important. When you are looking for your house, this is going to be one of the best ways to estimate what your property is going to be going for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it does a number of things for you to make your life a little bit easier, right? But one thing that you have to make sure, it says know your buyability. The first thing you want to do is to get clarity on, you're right, that down payment. Now, this
Mm-hmm.
gives you a down payment of 20%, which most people aren't coming to the closing table with $108,000, especially when FHA only requires 3.5% down and conventional loans require as little as 3% based on the area median income, or 5% on other conventional products, right? So when you consider 5% of 540,000, you're going to be looking at having to bring somewhere around $27,000 for the down payment, plus about 4% closing costs here
I
in
think
Florida, right? So let's go with 27,000.
that's a good mental math,
Now,
man, because I just pulled the calculator.
you pull out the calculator and I had to do. I used to be smart. So let's just keep that right there, credit score wise, right? But let's scroll down, because what this
Okay.
is going to do for you is it's going to look at an average of different interest rates on the day. So it's not exact science and it's not exact math, but it's going to help you get closer to being able to estimate where you could be, right? So let's take a look at the mortgage insurance, right? Now, it doesn't have a mortgage insurance rate there, but look at the principal and interest. Oh, matter of fact, did you calculate your viability? Click calculate your viability, please.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Okay, cool. So looking at Florida, how much you just scroll down a little bit. Okay, get out of there. I'm sorry. Overhead. I took an audible, but it was supposed
cool.
to adjust when you change the down payment, but I don't know if it did that. Well, normally what we're looking for, right, is the numbers to adjust based on what you input. So you put down
Mhm.
the 5% down payment.
Mhm.
We're gonna have your mortgage insurance included. Look at that taxes, right? The property taxes, it shows $958, and the question is why? Ooh. Okay, because it did a tax rate of 2.13 on that property value,
Mhm.
but that's really based on the assessed value. So the tax wouldn't be that high. It's actually way off. Um, and then they got the homeowners insurance and then the HOA fee. Wow. So now if you go up,
Mhm. Back to the calculator.
we're looking at a payment of that's going to be once you include your mortgage insurance, which is going to be on a house this size, over I'd say over around $300 at least. That's
Mhm.
going to bring you to a payment of around $4,500 a month,
Oh
right?
wow.
And this is going to help you to be a gauge, right? You're going to have to play with the numbers and massage it, but this is a place that you can go to at least get a ballpark. And keep in mind, this is just a ballpark of what you can do and where you can go. So I wanted to have you take a look at these tools, the mortgage calculator, and like Maurice was saying, right? A big part about buying a property is going to be
I'm just throwing some random numbers in there.
right. So if you do that, what's going to happen is it's going to put a higher down payment for you,
Okay.
right? So if we get out of it, oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, we can keep going. I don't want to. Yeah, let's keep
You're
the show on the
getting into
road.
it. You're like, yo, let me see. I might have to make an offer on this one.
Nah, I'm not
You
gonna make
over
an
here
offer on
home
this one.
shopping for more. You falling in love as we speak, huh? All right. And one thing that
Mm,
we'll do next time is we're going to look at the down payment assistance because down
okay.
payment assistance is a real gem. In the well,
Mm,
it's a challenge, but the thing about it is that we're in a market right now where sellers will accept down payment assistance programs more than they would have back in 2020, back in 2022 or 2023, because there's so much competition from other sellers. These
mhm,
sellers now know that they're going to have to accept things that they wouldn't before. Like in 2022, I could hardly send out a pre-approval letter that said FHA, because if they're competing with somebody that has a conventional mortgage, forget about it. They're going to go conventional mortgage every time. Why? Because a conventional pre-approval is a lot stronger based on the fact that the credit score requirement is higher and generally the down payment requirement is higher. Those two things give a seller more security in the buyer. But now with a buyer know, with a seller knowing, hey, we had this open house and nobody came, or we had these open houses over the last few months and we got no offers. You come with an offer, they're going to be more likely to listen than they were before. So those are some good things to keep in mind. And we'll go into the down payment assistance programs. Um, Anything about this property or anything about this jump out to you, Mo?
uh, not at the moment, but I can see here like if you this is the community here, so I guess it is based on the pricing in the area.
Well, that's very interesting, right? Because if you look at it, is there any way to bigger to make that screen a little bigger, Mo?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Scroll. So we're showing the property, and what's interesting is that they didn't have a Zestimate, but they're showing properties in the same exact area in that price range of five in change, high fours. So It seems like it might have just been a glitch in the system, but um, yeah, there are definitely properties in the fives and such there. So I'm curious to understand why they didn't have his estimate in this case.
Okay.
So for you as a person that's looking in this area, Mo, like when you look at the neighborhood, sorry, we were just down in the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Let me go back. So yeah, so well for me,
what
I
is
don't know. It's kind of they to me they look like too close. Like where I'm
okay?
at
Scroll
now
down a
is
little bit more. Scroll down a
what's
little bit more. I was
okay.
like the other details, like walkability,
Hmm.
transit score, bike score, and then they have the school ratings, right? And these are actually very good ratings. They have very good schools there,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah, those are good
And
school
again,
ratings.
these are all you could take a look at as a consumer to figure out what's going to be a good look for you and what's most important for you and your family.
Good thing about homeschool is you can do it anywhere, anywhere your home
I
is.
hear that, my brother. I know that's your thing, man. That's your jam, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at how we could um, get a good sense of what the property value is, right? So if you could
Hmm.
just X out of that screen,
Okay.
and what we're gonna do is you're gonna look at properties that have sold. So you see where it says late Nona, go to where it
Hmm.
says for sale, and this is very important. You're gonna go for sold,
Okay.
and you're gonna apply that, and then you're gonna go for price. Hmm. And we're gonna look
Let me
at
do that.
pretty much. Let's go to five. Yeah, 470. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, let's go.
Five
Let's go.
five
Let's
fifty.
make the number four. Let's go. All right, fine. I was trying to hone in a little
Oh,
bit
four.
more so
Yeah,
we could
that's
talk.
what's gonna show up.
Yeah,
Sorry, there's a little lag on the computer. I'm like hearing you
it's all
after.
good. All right, cool. And
Still a
now
lot of houses.
bedrooms and bathrooms. Now that property, bedrooms and bathrooms, right next to it, that one
Hmm.
had 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, right? So go to 3 bedrooms, right? And then put, this is very important when we're looking at value. Use
Hmm.
exact match.
Oh, Zach Matt.
Boom. And then scroll down and do the same for bathrooms because now we're actually
Oh, yeah,
honing
it wants
in on
let me
the
scroll down
same.
for that.
Oh, well, okay. So you apply that. So it's going to use the same
Hmm.
exact match for both. So now
Okay.
we're using those same specific details. And the key around an appraisal is that it has to be within a mile radius of the property that you're looking for. So when you see a property with like a cluster, you see where it says Waters Edge Community, right? These
Hmm.
properties are going to be considered on the face value as comparable because they're in the same community. Right. Right. They're in the same community. What's going to differentiate the value at this point is the standard of finishing. If one house has granite and the other one just has like a regular old blacktop, then the house that has the granite and the better kitchen and the better bathroom with more higher end finishes is going to drive more value. The one that's in better condition, but now we can see from what we said, a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom in decent condition. Let's just take a look at.
Hmm.
Let's click around these price points, Mo. Right. So you see
Let's see.
540, 540, 525, 490. And you also want to look at things like square footage, right? Because if you have two
Hmm.
bedroom, 2 bathrooms, one is 3,000 square foot and the other one is 2,000 square feet, those aren't going to be that comparable, right? If there are no other properties in the area, an appraiser could use different variances to be able to say that per every 1,000 square feet is worth this much value so that you could pretty much gauge which is which. But now we're actually looking at more of getting a better sense of what that property is worth. So if we go back to that, let's stay in this community one more. But just go click around,
Okay.
whichever one, whichever one. The most shopping right now, just so y'all know.
Yeah, shopping. Sorry, I know we lied. Let's get back
I'm always
to
like, ooh, that's nice.
it.
All right, so let's go ahead and just
Let me click on this one so we
yeah,
can see
click
that
on
one.
that one since you really like it.
Go
Yeah,
into it.
sure. Right. So now the reason why I emphasize sold instead of like for sale is that people could put whatever number they want for a house for sale, but sold is a real indicator of what happened. And it sold for this price of 525. But look, since they've sold that property, it looks like the values have increased based on this estimate. This estimate has gone to 558. So if they so we could go down to the sale history. Let's go down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There we go.
So this one was sold five right there, 5 May 2023 for 520,000. And in less than 2 years, if you could just go back up, Mo, in less than 2 years, the property value has gone up.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, the property value has gone up to 558,000. And it shows you a range. So estimated range in this area is 531 to 587. So that really gives you a good sense of what happens when, you buy a property and give it time. The value in most cases is going to go up,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you buy at the right time and you buy the right way. All right. So that's just to give you an idea of what values look like and how you could get a sense of what they are. You want to use Zillow and hone in on a property that's sold. Now, you also want to look for a property that's sold within a year. A lot changes within a
Mm-hmm.
year. So you want to look at the properties that actually sold within a year. This one was outside of that timeline, so we wouldn't necessarily call this a comparable. We'd more so say because what's happened is that it's increased in value, so we could look at other properties when you're in that shopping mode to get a good sense of
Mm-hmm.
what's going to be a fair value or a fair offer for you to make on that property, right? So yeah, we could actually step out of Zillow now, man. And what do you think about that, Mo? What do you think about that process?
That's good. I haven't done that in a while. Now I'm kind of like motivated to get back to get back to what we were doing. I mean, as far as like going over my goals, because now like when you see it, because we talked about it before, but sharing just like now that I'm learning the home buying process and learning everything, it's so much more to it. Like getting into it, when you first become a home buyer, you're thinking like, let me get my first home, my forever home, and some people think that's it, but there's so much more to it. Like I can take this home, make it a rental property while I'm living in my next home, and there's so many different things you can do. I don't even have. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds, but the possibilities are limitless once you learn the game, once you understand the process. There's so much you can do with home ownership.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a start, right? You know, like Mo said, and I think that is really important to understand that if you're looking for your first home,
Hmm.
it shouldn't necessarily be your dream home. Think about your first car. Was your first car the one that you said, yeah, this is the one I'm gonna drive forever?
Yeah. I don't,
My
well,
first car
okay.
is pretty dope.
Second
My
conversation
first
probably
car
won't.
is pretty cool and all, but I outdid it with the second and the third. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I had too many cars at the same.
I had a Lexus,
For your
so
first car?
I'm
My
still
first
kind of
car was
curious.
an Acura CL S type.
Yeah, Lexus ES 300,
Word.
1997. That
I
thing was
had some years on. So
what?
mine was a Acura CL S type 2001, and I got it in 2002. So it was pretty clean. It was fresh. You know what I'm saying? And this is just my first car. So just started in the mortgage industry, started making some paper. I got an opportunity to buy my boss's car actually, and I was just like, yo, and it was so cool. And then I stepped it up
That's awesome.
to the Benz and the range and all of that. But now I'm all about assets. You know what I'm saying? I,
Exactly.
I'm on
Not
the market for a
liabilities.
nice car. I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm on the market for a nice car. I'm probably gonna buy sometime in the next 2, 3 months. I'm pushing it off because I got all this tuition to deal with now that we got our college girls, right, bro?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, the scholarships and grants come in handy,
Dude,
man.
dang.
They come in handy,
I
man.
hope she gets all the scholarships for next year because dang, fam, these checks I be cutting. Listen, but it's a blessing. They
Hmm.
become a woman right before our eyes.
It's a blessing, though.
Yeah,
It
but
is. And look, at this rate, they're gonna have by the time they graduate, they're gonna have houses ready
well,
for
that's what I
them.
told my daughter. I told my daughter she got the dean's list on the first semester. I said if she gets dean's list straight throughout, or if she ends up graduating with honors, I'm gonna give her money for her down payment.
Mm.
I was gonna
Yep,
do it
I'm
anyway,
gonna do the
so
same.
and
Shoot. Yeah, I'm gonna do
my
it anyway.
daughter's
Yeah,
so money
they
motivated.
don't follow us on social
Yeah,
media
she's
anyway,
so
so.
money motivated. Like she's so money motivated. Like I put that up. I know it's in the bag. She's gonna get it. There's no question about it. It's a wrap. So
Hmm.
it's gonna save me money,
They both are.
but it's gonna cost me some money. But it's worth it.
Yeah, our girls are some hustlers. I know we're getting off topic, but our girls are
They
some
are
hustlers,
right.
man.
It's pretty dope. It's
Hmm.
pretty dope, and they not. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
pretty cool.
dope. You know what I'm saying? So
So I know it's about time is spent here, and we definitely got to wrap it up for sure. But let me see if there's any last minute comments. If you have any questions or comments in the chat, please
and give us some feedback too, right?
drop a comment below.
Definitely give us some
Yeah.
feedback because we want to make sure to give you guys what you need. We really want to give you guys what you need to help you in your process. So, as questions and ideas come up, please let us know because we have a whole curriculum around the home buying process through Home Buyer Academy. Home Buyer Academy isn't just Maurice and I talking like this on a Tuesday night, but it also comes with our my book, The Home Buyer Blueprint, and the workbook that Maurice, Adrian, and I created called Home Buyer Academy, along with our online course.
Hmm.
So our mission is to empower people through and we have our Facebook group, right? That's the
Hmm.
2025 Homebuyers Club. So our mission and our focus is to give people access to the home buying education that's going to change their lives in different modalities. So we want to make this available, and we're making this available to churches, to your HR department, because along with it, once you do this work, you're going to also learn the
Hmm.
different down payment resources that are available to you and your organization. So if you and your organization are looking to do home buyer workshops so that for organization, you're able to keep your your workforce longer if they're able to own houses. First off, they need to keep working so they could afford the mortgage, but
Hmm.
also they're now rooted in your community. So that's how you actually maintain employees for longer. So utilize Homebuyer Academy as a resource. Reach out to us, and we'll tell you how we can come to your organization and really drop some jewels and make home ownership a thing that you could brag about at the water cooler.
Hmm. Because one of the most powerful things you can have is ownership. I'm an advocate for owning everything, owning your mind. Oh, don't let nobody take rent up in your mindset. That's your ownership, right? Where you live. Don't be the lender, not the borrower. So even in when it comes to home ownership, everything is ownership. The more things you own, the better off you be. The more control you have over your life. And so that's really what it really comes down to. You can impact your community, your family, legacy, inheritance, all these things that we have here. You will be able to own that. So thank you guys for joining again. So excited that we started this. So excited that we're keeping this going. Love the new look, man. I love the new
Yes,
setup
dig.
that
I
we
like
got
your
going on,
digs,
man.
bro.
This is this
Stuff.
is exciting. And so please join that Facebook group because we're dropping knowledge and gems all
Daily.
week long. And I think there may or may not be a special giveaway that we're coming soon. I know he mentioned his book. So if you join the group, you might get information on how you can get some free giveaways. And so, you can read between the
Yeah.
lines, join the 2025 Home Buyers Club. And any closing words from
Man,
you,
I'm just
Chad?
so grateful that we have the opportunity to serve and keep on showing up like this. So keep on showing up with us. Bring your stories, bring your testimonials, bring your challenges, and we could work through and hold up all of that stuff for you every week, every Tuesday, right here.
Catch you guys.